So budget is a creative tool. ठीक है? It's not something that you need to think. It's not a math. It's a creative tool to keep everything in check, right? Finance is a really important part of your film. If you don't have money, you cannot uh, make a film. Of course, you have headset. If you have good phones, you can still make a movie. But we are talking about big budget films that we see on this, you see on televisions and cinemas. So okay, pre-production planning is really important. Pre-production planning, as we discussed, pre-production planning may be budget. We we write script, we break down script, we do storyboarding. The next episode will be storyboarding, scheduling. Okay, so these are the part of pre-production, जिसमें strategic allocation भी बहुत मैटर करता है. Whenever you are making film, the producer and the investor will give a producer some kind of budget that they think that they can allocate, right? So so it has to has an strategy. It shouldn't be random कि okay, I have, let's say if you have a 10 rupees, so you're gonna spend 8 rupees on production. That's not how it works. You bought expensive gear for your film and things. That's not how it works. Okay, spend where the audience notices. Separate needs versus wants. So it's really important to understand where when you are making films. So there are a lot of expectations, and also there will be a lot of things that you will be lucrative about. Okay, that will lucrate you, like okay, we should buy that camera, or you should buy that kind of uh, hinge, or let's buy a crane for that. That's how you're fundamentally gonna think. Okay, but you should, and you have to understand how you are allocating your budget, and how much and how you have to spend your money according to your needs, not wants. Okay, spend where the audience notices. ठीक है? And there's a line that I have put extra: do not spend on expensive gear, right? We always want to shoot on a bigger camera, FX9, or Arri or Black Magic, right? So it's our dream. Being a filmmaker, you also want to spend a lot of money on cameras and gears, but usually that's not how we spend. Every rupee you spend should make the film more believable or more emotional. Okay, that these are the things that you need to keep in mind. Okay, there is a minimal viable budget. What is minimum viable budget? Let's say you have a script and you show it to the investors or filmmakers or some producer, some executive producer, that give they can make you some kind of arrangement for money. So let's say they give you, they'll ask you how much budget this movie will have. So you need to figure out key, what's the minimum budget, what's the minimum viable budget that I can push this film to, right? So also show you the spreadsheet, so we can directly dive into it and actually break down the cost. ठीक है? As you say, minimum viable budget, there are two kind of primary cost: personal and talent, production duration, right? So personal and talents, personal, how many people will be there, right? There will a lot of, if you have light, then there will be a light person. If you have uh, you know, cameras, there will be a DOP. With the DOP there will be assistant. You are a director. Director will have 3 to 4 assistant. Okay, so these are the personal. And talents are your characters, the stars that you are gonna cast. Okay. And production duration is really important. How many production duration will come down to how many minutes you are shooting a film in a day. Okay, let's say you have 30 minutes movie, short movie. So how many minutes you are shooting in a day? If you are shooting 5 minutes in one day, it means 5 equal to 6 day. Okay, you need to shoot that film in 6 day. So that's how production duration comes. So yeah, of course we are going to go for risk management. Before this, I'm going to show you what the spreadsheet looked like. Take it, this was the budget for our movie. Okay, this was totally a different movie that I was working on. It has almost 11 crore budget, but we are not going to go for the 11 crore. But let's just say, so this is how the budgets look like. Okay, everything has detailed cost, details name. Take a percentage, unit, day, how many days they are working, how many quantity they have, how many quantity you have of the product. We rent things, right? We do not buy things in film, in production. Let's just say you need let's just say you want a location. So you don't buy a location, you rent a location for certain period of time. And that's why we break down things, so we know how many things and how many locations, how many people, how many props does we have. So we when we when we break it down and schedule it, so we're gonna know, yeah, okay, we have, let's just say, okay, let's just say we have 3 locations, and we have 2 characters. Take care, we have 3 locations, and we have 2 characters. And first character is on the 2 location, almost in 20 scenes. Okay, and the one character is only in one scene with, let's say, 5 scene. Okay, so these two these this person, this cast is in the more location. So you need to know this location will be rented for more days. Okay, and this location is for less days. Let's say we have 20 scene. If we are doing 16 a day, so let's say ki we will do it in 3 days. So we will take this location for 3 days, and this location has 5 scene. We are going to probably do it for 1 day. So one character equal to 1 day. Okay, so that's how we calculate. And then we have other things, so that's how we're also going to calculate things. Okay, let's say smaller things we buy. Let's say this kind of bottle has a requirement in the scene, so we are not gonna rent this bottle. We're probably going to buy this bottle because it's not that much harder to buy. It's not really expensive. But let's say if you are talking about some really expensive gear, right? Or let's say specifically director demanded this kind of phone in the hand of the character, and usually cast have that kind of phone, or even crew have, so we just exchange the phone for certain periods of time or certain scenes. But let's say we don't have, so we're gonna rent it for a 2 day or a 3 day, right? So that's how we think in a production to cut the cost. Let's come down to this spreadsheet. Okay, so we have two two things that you need to understand in budget. First, ATL. What is ATL? Above the line. We call it above the line. And we have BTL. Who is BTL people? Below the line. I'm also going to explain you what these are. So we divide budget in ATL and BTL. What is ATL? Above the line. What is BTL? Below the line. Above the line are the people who are our primary people, right? Who are the main people of the film, like स्टार कास्ट, जिसे बोलते हैं हम प्रिंसिपल कास्ट, राइट? हाउ मेनी स्टार कास्ट यू हैव, यू विल गोना पुट इट, ठीक है? एंड ऑफ कोर्स यू विल सी इन टोरेज ऑफ कास्ट, जो कास्ट के साथ होता है, स्पेशली इन द बिग फिल्म्स with the cast, there will be a lot of people who will come with it, and you need to pay. If you have a star cast, you're hiring for star cast, there will be a makeup artist with them, and the cooks and the driver, so you need to pay all of them, just because they are traveling with them. They are in the high ticket people, they are the primary people, they are the star cast. So I haven't made this rule, but industry has some made this rule kind of. So yeah, we need to also give them. So let's say we have a star cast 2, they need to pay also them. There's a star cast 3, you need to pay them, okay? So in ATL there are a director, art director, action director, casting director. So these are the directors. Now it depends on how you how your story is, or what your story is. Rather than you need to appoint everyone for the story, first you need to look at what your story really demands, okay? So let's say this has an action director because it has a lot of scenes where hero is fighting, or he's jumping through a river, or a big plant. So this needs to need it needs to need a kind of guidance, where action director can see and guide, or even there will be a double who gonna do that scene, because you cannot just uh, throw someone or some star cast in the scene where there are probability of dying of them. So before making your movie, you're gonna probably going to have a case, and your movie will be shut down. So of course you need uh, you need to have experts around you. Casting director, if you have a low budget, you don't need to have. Of course after this I'm gonna give you also a short form, gonna teach you a short film budget, how to make a budget for short film. So with no expenses or less expenses, right? So music director, these are the ATL people: writer, script editor, storyboard, ठीक है? Intimacy director, intimacy director is someone who does who does have experience of filming sexual scenes or a romance. So when we do it on camera, or you see it on camera, so there are expert who guide that kind of scene, so there will be uh, no such thing where people people get intimidated. Sometimes there are female cast, and they get shy, and they you know what I mean. So it needs to have a guidance, so they direct that kind of scene. Okay, choreographer is who design the dance, and especially the scene, choreograph the scene. Okay, so there's a producer who has whole thing of managing people or hiring and firing people. Line producer is when we hire line producer when we are shooting on another location and we don't have that kind of expertise in that area. Let's say we are shooting in Himachal and Uttarakhand, so I'm gonna ask to another other producer who has that kind of expertise and relation with others from there. So I'll hire them as a line producer. They're gonna hire their people. Okay, so let's just say कि my director and writers and other people, sorry, my director and other people cannot go there. So their people, वहाँ के लोग, वहाँ के जो talents है, they're gonna go there, right? So that's why line producer, though the licensing, the everything, government documentation, he's gonna do all of those things. Okay, so if your film has music, so it's gonna be a composer, lyricist, and singer. Composer who mixes and make the music, lyricist who write the music, singer who sing the music. Sometimes the three positions are the same, sometimes only we have only one person who sings. We buy the rights from other. Okay, so this is it. Okay, below the line we have secondary artists, like the supporting artist we call. Extras are in the background, you see कि okay, fight हो रही है, there are a lot of people around them, those are the extras. They get 0.1% of the budget. The star cast gets additional extras. Sometimes we need more extras, so we get additional extra actor staffs, right? Actor staffs are the one who serves like boys. Okay, casting expenses, of course. Sometimes Netflix, like studios like Netflix, Amazon wants new artists, new talent. So we sometimes we just do casting, and we let others or new talents come here. So we will have whole setups. So we also have this kind of budget. Crew remuneration, right? Crew remuneration has as an executive producer, production controller, right? Production manager, production coordinator, production assistant, head of spot boy. So if you, let's say you have 100 people in the film, so who is going to serve tea and taking care of lunch and dinner and everything? So these are the sports boy who go and serve lunch and get the shit done that people don't. So head of spot boy are the people who guide them and are under them. Production assistant is who you know go and buy things. Let's say if some scene requirement has a different thing, and let's say we don't want this book, and director wanted a different book, and production hasn't bought it. So production assistant gonna go and buy that, and also production assistant gonna help to set up things with the art director. Also they buy things and bought things to the location. Okay, production coordinator is someone who coordinates with all of them. Production manager is manages all of them. ठीक है. Production controller is control everything around them. An executive producer is someone who has a control all over the production, right? So there's also an accountant who keeps keeps record of every single penny, so we know where where every single rupee has gone. Location manager is someone who has that kind of location. Sometimes, let's say we don't just go and shoot, we need to have a permit from them, from government, and also get license from them to shoot there. So these kind of thing, location managers, that as a line producer, as I said, line producer is someone who is in the different location. We don't have that kind of relation there, so line producers comes in. But the line producer work here, location managers does. But line producer also have a different authority there, but location manager is just for the location here, because producer, suppose let's say if there's a shoot in Delhi, so all of the things I'm gonna do, I have a relation there, casting director, everyone knows me, so I just need to call them or arrange them, right? But let's say I need to shoot in LA or US, I need to have a line producer. I don't know anyone. So that's how it works. If I just need to run a location, I'm gonna call location manager, is gonna do all the things. So there's assistant director. Director is in ATL, but BTL, in the BTL, assistant director comes. Sorry guys. Assistant director has first AD. First AD is someone who assist and direct the scene with the director. And production design AD, so he just look over the design of the creatives and location around them, ki it is according to the scene or not. Costume AD, he just supervise if the costume designer has put the right thing or the cloth of the character on that particular scene. Okay. Talent AD is someone who go and describe everything to the talents. Okay, this is your scene today, is this is your scene, and you need to say this line here and that line here. He practiced with them. And continuity easy, it I feel it's a really important part, where continuity is really important, where we know we have just this scene where, let's say I'm talking to you like this, and suddenly camera stops, or I just fumbled, and we need to have being a director that has some kind of vision. I will say no, 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 we need to do this again, and this part was good, we need to do the next part. So continuity AD write down everything, write down every clip, and write down every location where it stops. Let's say I stopped at this point, so I need he needs to have that kind of photo or anything, so that he can relate to in the next shot. Otherwise short continuity will be break, and the neck, and when the movie is shot and we go to post production, if we don't have continuity, we will be fucked. So that's really important. Continuity is a really important. Let's say if I have a hat, I have this and this book here, that I just I just took it like this, and in the scene, and next scene I am talking to someone else, and I haven't took off. Okay, and the next scene, if I took off without any action, it's gonna be continuity break. We call it continuity break, and it's gonna fuck the whole movie. So we need to understand, and continuity AD has a really crucial part in this. So he need to have a keen eye on everything. कैमरा, डायरेक्टर ऑफ फोटोग्राफी जिसे बोलते हैं, जिसे तुम बोल सकते हो वीडियोग्राफर, बट वीडियोग्राफर हैज़ अ डिफरेंट मीनिंग. ही जस्ट know the camera, but director of photography knows the scene, how to composite the scene on the camera. Second DOP is someone who has the different camera. Let's say we have a two cameras or three cameras there. The second DOP is gonna take second one, first DOP we're gonna first one. Okay, so first AC, first, second camera. Focus puller is someone who has a focus puller. Focus puller is something where you see focus. So he has a kind of machine where he focuses with it, and he'll be good at just focusing. Let's say camera is focusing on there, so he's gonna continuously take that kind of equipment and focuses on it. So yeah, edit is on the big budget film. We don't wait for the post production to get the lineup. Whatever we are filming, he'll put it down on the edit table and just cut the shot, so we know कि we have that kind of flow, what the director wants or what the script demand. Because let's say continuity breaks or anything happens in the film. So let's say we were shooting in the exterior, or lighting sahi nahi hai, lighting is gone wrong or something. So it's gonna go left to right and lighting will change. Sun is going to go left to right, and also light will also is gonna change the whole temperature and the scene of the movie. So it's gonna go look bad, and it doesn't feel like, it will not feel like this shot has a single sequence. It's gonna more look like ki same shot has same scene has shot in different lights, so it's gonna show up on the screen, and we don't want that. So that kind of flow we see in the online edit. That's why we call it online edit. And anything goes wrong, so we're gonna go, because once the production is done, we cannot redo it, because the expenses goes up and also the money, right? So yeah, drone operator let's say you have a drone scene, so drone operator is gonna go there. Location sound recorders who doesn't go and record the sound of the locations, really important for the scene. Boom operator, we have different kind of, I'm gonna also give you some video on that. We have different kind of mic, lapel, boom, dynamic. So yeah, we're gonna teach you about that and how sound really matter in the cinema. Because without the sound, there's no good movie you can capture and show to people. Like we say we say that 50% of the visual we see, 50% of the sound we hear, we then really the audience engage with the movie. Otherwise it's just another random video. How much good story you have, it's just not gonna go stick with the audience, because the visual we see is strong as the sound as we hear. So both combined is gonna give you a great story and movie. Okay. So art direction is something is really important, where you look at the scene and see, okay, this is a police station, this is a studio, this is a house. So art director uh, change the location according to the script, according to the scene. Okay. So graphic designer also needs these are the just people who are the assistant of them. Production design is also there. Okay. Supporting labor are, let's say we need some kind of um, let's say seat. So we can't buy a seat, so there will be a carpenter and everything we need. So he's gonna go and make that thing with them, right? So there's makeup artists who make up them, you know what I mean. Wardrobes are where, we take costumes, and the people who are responsible for assistant director costume assistant director is gonna guide or just oversee it. He's not responsible, of course. If something goes wrong, he's responsible for that. But costume designer is for the responsible for costume assistant and wardrobe supervisor is responsible for who is wearing what, and what dress is going with what, right? Costume designer are those who design the costume according to the script and the location. Okay, still making, there are the photographers also who work behind the scene and capture the BTS so we can use it in the marketing and everything, right? So of course you are shooting in the location, you just can't borrow electricity because a lot of equipments and product there. You need to have electricity there. We we rent generators, we buy fuels for that. Okay, there will be a lot of light, so the light, how the light works, there is also expert there. We call it gaffer, right? Lightning assistant will be the people who is going to assist with lighting. Gaffer who's gonna tell ki which light gonna go where. DOP is gonna also gonna direct. Also the director is gonna go direct. Overall, these are the expert who's gonna. These are the expert with the coordination. They're gonna go get the shit done. This is what I mean. Okay, stunt and VFX. Sometimes we need stuff. SFX. So you're gonna pull it. Police security, of course you need people around them, security around them, because a lot of people who are gonna go and see, okay, what's who is making what, or if there'll be a lot of fans around people, so we need to have a security and we need to pay them. So these are all the things that will come in budget, right? And then these are the things, these are the budget of people. Now will come down to the proper breakdown where we buy things. Let's say art department and a construction department will have some certain kind of budget. Let's say allow means it, this is where we allow. Okay, fix is, this is we have fixed for this. Okay, and variable means it can be something like this, it can go above, it can go minimum, but this is how we put like this. Okay, and then we have costume, we have rental. In the rental we are gonna see, okay, so in the breakdown, we break down everything, but we don't, but assistant director does not have the authority to put camera and equipment there. So this line will be empty. When we hire DOP or director, especially most of the time DOP is gonna guide what kind of equipment he wants for that. So he's gonna go all in and tell this kind of equipment he wants. So yeah, hotel, what kind of hotel suit, of course if you have 10-day, 15-day, 20-day or 30-day shoot, so there are a lot of people where they're gonna live. They have a hotel room. So according to their position, we divide the room. Transportation, okay, so we need to have there are a lot of people, so when you have to have a rent car or some kind of bus, so that can transport to the location. There will be a different location at the times, so we know how to. That's why there are many people needs. So there's a production coordinator, there's also assistant production. That's why all these people need, so they can coordinate accordingly and put people where they belongs in that particular time. Okay, catering. So in the hotel, let's say shoot is done for that particular day, we go back to hotel, then we come back in the next day. So they are not gonna go back to the hotel and they come for the dinner. The dinner is served to the location. So of course we're gonna have to have a catering where they will eat there, because if they go to hotel and come back and we have 8 hour, or mostly we stretch it to 10 hour, but this is 8 hour fixed timing where we pay to the uh, to the crew remuneration, and about that we need to pay them per hour. So we also need to think in a way where we pull a lot of scenes in that particular time, so we don't have to, because one day is equal to a lot of money and expensive shit we're gonna spend. So we need to think of it. Yeah, let me see if expensive shit. Okay, of expenses, because of course we are doing pre-production, production we are doing when we are doing pre-production. Pre-production has script breakdown, screenplay writing, storyboarding, scheduling. So we need to have certain office where all the creative people can work until the production starts. So we also need to combine that kind of expense also. So if you don't write that down, you don't know, are you gonna also put money from your pocket if you don't put that there? Because screenplay, everything takes time, and you are not putting certain amount of money on that person or on that time, you're gonna really lose that money. Let's say we had the 6 month of this, 70,000 per month of this. So 4 lakhs 20,000 were the expenses for the 6 month of this. Miscellaneous, night allowance, crew. Okay, and last but not least, post productions comes in editor, assistant editor, post producer, color grading, VFX. So post producer is a supervisor who supervise the whole post production. Okay, color grading, VFX, edit room, dubbing. Okay, you have certain languages, you are releasing your film in a certain language, of course you need dubbing artist. But there are a lot of costs that can be eliminated just by using AI. I'm gonna also teach you when and how to use AI. Okay, stock and folly, blah blah blah. Let's come here. Production planning has also risk management. Risk management is also part of any project you do. Whether you are managing project, you are managing any production, you are managing any shoot, it also has to have a risk management. Risk management has two things: contingency fund. Let's say you have a 1 cr budget for a film, so you're gonna put 10 to 15 lakh on the side hand. So when something goes wrong, let's say you had planned that there will be no rain in that area, and suddenly all your forecast or your planning goes down to the trash, and that day rain happened and you couldn't shoot it, but you need to pay the expenses of that particular day to your crew, because they came here for your film. So you need to have to have a certain kind of cost, so you don't lose that or you don't just go broke. So okay, so let's say 1 or 2 day goes wrong, so you can manage that kind of budget, right? Prevent cheap mistakes. That's really good. Avoid expensive fixes, right? When people say we'll fix that on post production, it doesn't go always well. So you need to think of in a way where where you are not making certain kind of mistakes, or I would say deal where you are you are you are preventing cheap mistakes. Let's say you can you you were hire you were in the middle of shoot, and you know that you needed to mm, hire extra lighting. DOP said, but you said ki uh, no, we are shooting in exterior, it means bahar. And DOP said we need lighting, but you prevented the cost just by saying we don't have to use light because sun will be there, we can shoot it. But these cheap mistakes is gonna cost you lot because DOP is thinking sun is gonna go right to left and the light will move also. So it's gonna change the direction and totally make the lighting opposite to the camera. Camera, you know, camera really show every mistakes on the screen, so you cannot prevent that. And once you did that mistake, you're gonna say we're gonna fix in post. So maybe you cannot, or maybe you need to shoot it again. Particular, you can you need to shoot that particular scene again on the extra cost. That's why we say you don't need to. Really need to think. Let's say DOP say you need that kind of camera or gear to shoot. Let's say you don't put every penny on expensive gear, but if it needs, if the scene needs that, and also the story demand that, then you need to buy or rent that kind of thing. Otherwise it's gonna cost you a lot. So what I mean, every rupee should make the film feel more believable. So if you are spending on the talent, or the or or the location or the art direction, so art direction is really important because it gives kind of look to the audience that is the real location. So if that kind of make makes you a bit more uh, feel like more you need to pay more for it, go for it. So it's gonna believable, make the audience believable. And the talent, right? With if you have a bad talent, it's really gonna go or show to the film. You have a really expensive gear, really expensive camera, and you don't have a really good actor, so it's gonna go opposite and gonna cost you a lot of money. That's why we say prevent cheap mistakes, avoid expensive fixes. If this is not a really good actor acting on the really good story, people not gonna not watch it. So that's why we say, hey, oh, I don't like this movie, the acting was really bad. Production phase, shoot phase, track every expense, monitor expenses. I said you need to have a monitoring of single penny where you are spending. And in films, producer is the only one who does have authority on the film budget, and a small budget does not limit the creativity, a lack of planning does. So it's really important. I just showed you how the big production film film have this kind of budget. So we don't just share this. We have a top sheet. Okay, this is a master budget as you can see here, and this is a top sheet. Top sheet is something when you send it to the any production house, so they just see the top sheet where it just give the overall idea where you are putting the money. And master budget is something that has a really detailed budget where and what you have spent your money on. Okay, so yeah, this is these are the two budgets that I've showed you. And also I'm gonna show you how to make your short film budget. And you don't have to have an expensive budget for your film. Okay, let's just say you have a 30 minutes short film which was releasing on YouTube. Okay, primary actors, director, writer, producer, music, lyrics. ठीक है, let's say you made the music from Suno or Gemini. You almost have none budget, or let's say 2000. Okay, this is the budget of your music. And you can do, you have spent 2000, but it's gonna go a lot of things to you for SFX, for background score, for music. The music you see in the backgrounds really plays a really important part in your film. It's a suspense scene, and you are you are hearing kind of sound that give your your scene more authority, more believable look. So that's really important. And it's gonna go all of the things. Also, when you buy Gemini, you're gonna get Gemini for free, so you can you can do a lot of things with it. So let's say none. Of course you do, if you are a short film person, you're gonna direct edit it also, so you also have none budget. You're gonna take none because no one is paying you. And I'm thinking in that way, if someone is paying you for that, that's good. If not, this is for indie filmmakers who don't have any budget. Director, writer, of course, Gemini, Google. You have a rough script, go talk to it, refine your script. We're gonna do none. Primary actor, of course, you give them thousands book, or you deal with them and say barter them, barter with the any go to theater artist, barter with them, tell them I'm going to make a movie, I'm not gonna pay you, but once you know YouTube, you're gonna get the limelight, you can put that movie somewhere, or you have the authority to post that movie, blah blah blah. You can do that kind of barter, right? So also getting none. But you don't want that you don't want your movie to be to give rights to someone else. You can pay them on the side, so don't have that kind of rule. Okay, talents, you can take anyone around you, like your chacha, poopi, mama, anyone, mummy, didi, just to be in the background. Try your friend, try your colleagues to be there. Is also none. Crew remuneration, let's say people will come and eat and gonna work with you. So you, let's say you're spending, let's say you have 5 people around you, so 5 people means per person one time budget is 250. So you have 15 to, let's say chai vai rakh lo, to let's say 2000 per day. It means you have 10,000 for 5 days. You gonna almost complete your movie in 2 to 3 days, I feel. So let's just say 5,000. And art, shoot raw as much as possible. You don't need to think of buying certain things. If go spend time spend time talking with people and try to get that location for free. Tell them that you are making a short film for YouTube. You cannot get any money out of it. So just try to convince people. Making a film means jugaad. You need to have that kind of communication to other people, so you can convince them to get what you want. This is all about convincing people, and making a film is also about convincing audience to make them feel that is whatever you are showing is real. That's how your audience feel emotional. Okay, so rentals, let's say you can nowadays iPhone camera is good. You don't need to buy any camera. Let's say you bought a gimbal, 1500 रुपये में गिम्बल, 1500 रुपये में गिम्बल मिल जाता है. लेट्स से 1500, and you can rent also. Or let's say you jugaad it from somewhere, so it's also a non cost, but I have put 1500s. Transportation, let's say 1000 rupees. You give people 100 200 rupees for travel. Okay, because you need to give it a cheap. Location charges is none, as I said. Catering none. Scouting none. Office expenses none. Okay, post production, let's say you have an editor who can edit. Learn to edit. If you can't, then give it to someone and tell them you want to edit. Of course you're gonna get someone editing this whole movie. And try to barter with people, because it's really, when you are making a film now, everyone is interested. Short form content is booming, but film is something that people really want to be a part of, and it's still a premium content that not many people can make. So when you barter them, when you are starting at and you are bartering with them, people are gonna go agree with you. So let's say if they don't, so the most expensive, I would say, spend 4 to 5 thousand for the really good artist who can get the shit done on 15,000. But when you go and talk to them, they're gonna cut the cost at least to 4 to 5 thousand, just because it's a movie. They're gonna go all in. When you give them music subscriptions, they're gonna go and put that also. So overall, if I see 5,000, 1,000, 5,000, 10,000, overall you will have almost in 10 to 15,000, 12 to 15,000, let's say 12, not 13 to 15,000, you will have your short movie. If you want more, I can give you the low non budget short film also, or even gonna show you how to film a zero film budget short film. And there's also an AI film where you can make it with zero budget. So stay tuned for more and more content like this. If you really like the content, like, subscribe, so that I get the motivation to make more. Thank you so much. We will meet in the next video. तब तक के लिए bye bye, take care, Allah Hafiz, see you.